now, Cubs fans. I'm Brenda Anshanslin, and this is Cubs Real Talk.
Are you listening? Damn.
Alright, this is my first ever Real Talk, and what we're going to do on each Real Talk, should we continue to have a bunch, is we're going to drink a beer, and we're going to talk about Cubs baseball. Real talk. Controversial stuff. Stuff that people don't want to talk about. Possibly unpopular opinions. First thing I want to talk about is Cubs fans. It's almost the All-Star break, and here we are acting like it's the end of the world as we know it. And it is not. In fact, had we not won the World Series last year, we would be super ecstatic. Because here we are in second place, 1-2 games out behind the Brewers that we know are going to just go and implode because that's what they do. And instead we're like boo-hooing over here, acting like it's the end of the world and we suck balls. You know who we sound like, Cubs fans? Do you? We sound like Yankees fans. Yep. Yankees fans. Nobody wants to be Yankees fans. And even less people want to be like the Boston Red Sox fans post World Series. And that's who we're acting like. So let's get it together, gang. Let's get it together. And let's be realistic. I don't know, I love baseball. I love Cubs baseball. And for the most part, is it a little bit of a Debbie Downer season? Well, in comparison to last year, yeah. But for the most part, if we think about it, if we truly think about it, this is actually a pretty terrific season had we not won the World Series. We'd be very happy with this season. In fact, we'd look at the 2015 season and think, hey, we're not far off from the 2015 season. We're about par. There's a couple things that I wanted to talk about real briefly, and there was more I wanted to talk about, but the Baseball Reference website kept crashing on me. So I am only able to couple a couple things, but let's start with the oldest story first. And that is Kris Bryant. I know I'm not timely on this at all, and I really don't care, but when Kris Bryant did whatever the heck he did to his ankle, my first thought was, holy cow, Kris Bryant is hurt. Kris Bryant is hurt. This looks bad. He can't put weight on it. Oh my gosh. And I was like, okay, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We still have Javi, #baseball boyfriend. Yeah, some girls, they have book baseball, or they have book boyfriends. Other girls have fandom boyfriends. I have a baseball boyfriend, and that is Javier Baez. Oh, I'm so in love with him. He's so cute, and he's so good at fielding. Well, maybe not this year, but typically, he's so good at fielding. Any hoodles. I digress. But that was my thought. In fact, many of you were probably thinking the same bloody thing. Like, oh my gosh, Kris Bryant, he's down. He was just starting to hit. And then I thought about it for a minute. In fact, you can check some tweets on my Twitter handle. It's at Cadillac_Creek. And I was like, wait. This is the man who has missed, I don't know how many games, at least half a dozen, minimal, probably closer to a dozen due to flu-like symptoms or whatever. So I was like, Kris is a little bit of a wussy. So when it was revealed that I was even telling fans, I was like, maybe it's just Kris Bryant being Kris Bryant and he's not actually hurt. And wouldn't you know, Kris Bryant, man up. Alright? Man up. Drink an old style. Maybe it'll put some chest on your hair or something. I don't know. Just saying. Anybody else feel that way? Put some comments in there. Let's talk about this. Do you feel like Kris is a little bit of a wussy? I feel like he's a wussy. He's a really needs to man up. I mean, I've seen Javi do way worse to himself. I might be a little biased because he is my baseball boyfriend. My backup baseball boyfriends are Alberto Mora Jr., love his glove, and Wilson Contreras. I like the young guys. The young guys are so great. I also like the senior guys. John Jay. Oh, I love John Jay on the team. I was so excited when we got John Jay. I was like, yes! This is our new Jimmy Edmonds. I love Robin from the Cardinals. It's great, isn't it? It is. Mickey Montero. Alright, it's no secret to anybody that knows me in my real world life outside of YouTube that I was not a fan of Mickey Montero joining the team in the first place. It's not like I have anything against the guy as a person. It's not that I had anything against him as a player. It was the fact that we had, I forgot his name, but he went to the Diamondbacks and he currently plays with the O's, and I loved him. And I cannot think of his name right now. I'm space cadetting. But I loved him and I thought he was great. And the only reason I could think of that we let him go was maybe he's just a bad clubhouse guy? I don't know. He seemed awesome. I loved his bat. I loved his fielding. I'm still a little mad about that, especially when we did get Miggy, and then he just wasn't the Miggy of the Diamondbacks. He was clearly on the tail end of his career. Maybe he will get something with the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm not sure, but I was pretty upset about that. And so when he was let go about a week ago now, I immediately started texting and tweeting about it immediately because I was kind of excited about it. I didn't feel like what he said really warranted to let him go, but you know, since he didn't talk to the players and he went to the media first, I can see that it's not a good team club thing to do, and it's a stark difference from David Ross and what Wilson Contreras puts out there. So I got into some arguments on some texting with some friends that I was texting on him. One of my friends, who may or may not be watching this, honestly said, well, his fielding was so great. And I was like, are you watching the same Cubs games that I'm watching? Because since we got him, after game 15 that I watched him, was like, I was always looking forward to another catcher playing, especially David Ross, because I realized straight away that guy he may not have had a strong bat, but that's not really what I'm looking for out of a catcher. I'm looking for a great defensive guy who can call a great game for my pitchers, and a guy who can save a bunch of runs by throwing guys out. That's what I'm looking for. Guys who can, stop wild pitches and keep them in front of their bodies and not have a lot of pass balls. That's what I'm looking for in a catcher, not necessarily their bat. Now, I'll admit, Miggy's bat was a little, in comparison with the team, as the team's been hitting, which is not well this season, his bat was probably the hottest bat. The only guy who has a hotter bat has got to be John Jay at this point. But, I was like, well, his batting's better, but I was like, there's no way his fielding has been good. And then a couple minutes later, they released his stats. So, the league average for 2016 was 27%. And he was 11%. It gets worse. For 2017, where he only started in 28 games, I believe, as a catcher, he had 31 stolen bases. He had more stolen bases than in games he played. Now, I know a lot of that was bolstered in his last game as a Cub with Jake Arrieta, where I believe they stole 7 or 8 times against him. But he only caught one guy. 0 pickoffs. That's a 3%, and the league average is actually up this year at 28%. In contrast, I only pulled Wilson's 2017 right now. Now, yeah, he started in a whole bunch more games. He started in 56 games. He's our primary guy. I love him. Every time somebody hits a home run, he is at the top of the dugout, and he's the first one to greet and congratulate the players. He definitely learned a lot from David Ross, and I greatly appreciate that. But he's been in 56 games. He's had only 4 pass balls. Just 4 pass balls. He has 40 stolen bases against him. He has caught 18. He's picked off 6, which feels a little low, but numbers don't lie. So I feel like he's picked off more than that, but he's picked off 6. He has a 31% average in baseball. He is above and beyond the league average. If only he was batting, I think he would definitely be on the All-Star team this year. I mean, oh my goodness, as far as a fielder's concerned, I think he's got the numbers. I didn't pull a whole bunch of other stuff, so if somebody else has got better fielding percentage than he is, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know, but But the other thing that I had to pull when I was pulling these numbers was David Ross. Let me tell you, if you got some free time on your hands, you've definitely got to go pull David Ross's numbers. He was just always, and he may not have played as many games as other guys, but oh my goodness, those numbers are insane. As far as the defensive numbers are concerned, definitely go pull them. They're a treat. Okay, ran out of space on the memory card. The world is not ready for my most controversial conversation, so I will save Kyle Schwarber for next time, besides this video is too long. If you liked my conversation on Cubs Real Talk today, be sure to give me a like. And if you have any comments to say that we can talk about in the next Cubs Talk, be sure to leave some comments below. I'll catch you next time. Thank you kindly and have a great day. Go Cubs, go! Oy vey. It's bloody hot in here. Summertime and all. Ugh.